There was a Kanye part 2 on the Drink Champ. I didn't get through all of it. This one kind of went off the rail more than the first one in my personal opinion. So this one wasn't for me. I watched a little bit, but it wasn't nothing that I really missed.
The Larry Hoover joint was a little bit.
And I fool with Larry Hoover Jr. I fool with him, but I know what he's trying to do, and I think everything he said is right.
Yeah.
But
his father should be able to come home.
100%. But let's see.
But that doesn't mean that everything that Kanye does is right.
No, it does. Shout out to Larry Hoover Jr., but no,
That's everybody though, right?
But people be like, "Oh, you guys are just focusing on this." I was like, "No, we talked about it all." But
y'all didn't hear that we talked about
like,
it all.
but for every one good thing Kanye does, he does like 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 suspect things.
Well, I mean, I'm a changed man. I focus on the 1 out of 5. We had this conversation.
You're trying to be a better person.
I am. Like, I focus on the 1 out of 5, and I'm done arguing with y'all about the other 4 because y'all relentless. So I'm just gonna leave the other 4 alone and focus on the 1.
He's over here trying to act like he's not one of us.
I'm one of y'all for real, but I'm just trying to do better. All right. Excuse me.
I just want I just want him to do good. That's all.
I mean, I feel you, man. But here's my thing. Kanye admits that he posed as a backpacker for all these years. And he's really a quote unquote street guy. Now, we know people, that grew up in Chicago that were around this young man.
The guy that
Ye. Shout out to my man. I'm gonna say their names because they are worth saying their names. My man Poppy Amon, my brother Il Brown. So these are the homies. We know them very well, and they're credible. They've told these stories many times.
Yep. And they're from
Chicago.
Yeah,
so they were there.
In the music scene.
Yes, I wish they was in the chat so they could get
Poppy's
y'all
in here.
He's in here. And he said #nougat, my guy. Poppy, if you could put it in the chat, tell them the stories, man, because they're going to say I'm hating if I say it. But I say that to say, so Kanye, how do we feel about that? Should we care? I'm gonna tell you my stance, and then we can work around the table. I'm looking at it from a standpoint where I got classic material and heat leading up to my Dark Twisted Fantasy. After that is where I usually cut my, my Kanye quote unquote support and I cut it off at that album. Anything after that is trending down for me. I've been on record saying this. I stand on it, but I don't know if I'm mad about him posing. Like, it helped the culture by him making dope music. That's the way I see it. Now, there's a lot of people that are really mad and frustrated. So I'm going to go around the room. Y'all tell me how it felt. Jay Brookins, what'd you think about him posting? I got to come to you first.
You always go to the...
I have to come to you first.
You're a special guest. We feel like we should come to you first.
I almost want to see you go first and then me come back.
We can do that. No.
A quick little nugget.
No, hold it.
A quick little nougat?
I see what you did. Jay Brookins, hold up. That's actually a good point. Brother Moore.
Okay.
How do you feel about Kanye posing as a backpacker, quote unquote? Now, he bipolar, so tomorrow might be he ain't mean that.
That's that old school Gemini.
Yeah, we just gonna take it for what it is at face value because you said it. Don't do that, Lone. Lone's not buying that.
You ain't going?
He's not going.
All right.
Jay Moore, talk to me, man. Like, how do we feel about that? Because we got some great music out there, brother. I ain't gonna front now. Don't front.
We definitely did. I appreciate the fact that he gave like Dilated Peoples and Slum Village a look to where they were able to get on the radio. I appreciate that.
Facts.
But I hate the fact that like he's basically saying he was fronting that whole time. He couldn't. It's not what he was about. He was just doing that because he thought it would be a good look. So in a way, that's what culture vultures do. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think it's whatever it is he's got going on with Talib Kweli, they need to work that out behind closed doors. Because first of all, I remember, I'm not sure if you guys saw the Electric Circus tour.
I didn't see it.
That was Common. It was Talib Kweli, and there was this other guy who got to touch the stage who didn't have any records out yet. His name was Kanye West.
Wasn't he like rocking on stage with a backpack too?
Yeah, he was on stage with a backpack. Ooh. He only had one verse at the time. He had his verse off of The Bounce, off of Jay-Z's Blueprint 2, and he wasn't even credited. He was credited, but like they spelled his name backwards. You got to check the credits.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And Talib Kweli will let him come out and touch the stage when honestly, if if you knew producers, you knew him. Because I remember being at the pageant in St. Louis, me and my man Brian, and we saw this dude on his flip phone walking around with his Rockefeller chain, hoping people would notice him. You know, and this is not. I'm not telling tales out of school. This is what it was. He was. We knew Kanye West because my man Brian was a producer. Shout out to my man Brian Shaw. But he was like, "Oh, that's Kanye." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." But nobody was rushing him. He wasn't famous like that, you know. So here it is. You're somebody with no fame as an artist, and 𝐀𝐿𝐓 did you a solid and let you come out and touch the stage and be on stage with him when he was doing Get By, which was produced by Kanye West.
As a backpacker, though.
You know, shout out to him. Yeah, exactly. You know, and I remember the cover of XXL with Dave Chappelle, and it's like Kanye West and 𝐀𝐿𝐓 and 𝐀𝐿𝐓.
Yeah.
And you just mean that whole time you were fronting, you didn't feel that whole vibe?
Yeah.
You know, I think that either you're being disingenuous now because you have an issue with 𝐀𝐿𝐓.
Exactly.
Political.
Or you were just a complete fraud back then. I'd like to think that now I'd like to think it's the first and not the latter.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you did these records, you know, with Mos Def and 𝐀𝐿𝐓, and you were down, you had the backpack on, and you got to understand, mainstream radio didn't embrace you initially. I remember my man James Biko, he was DJ Needles at the time on St. Louis. He had a show where he would do quote unquote backpack rap. I don't even like that term because you know, Questlove broke it down and said that's always an outsider's term for even someone to say that. You know. And I remember when you had Through the Wire. Through the Wire wasn't a record that radio embraced, but you know what? The quote unquote backpackers that you never felt them. You were just fronting that whole time. We're the people who made sure that you would get your looks because we embraced you first when the quote unquote, you know, the dope dealers and the killers that you said that you really were down with, like those people were not checking for you.
Hey, he gonna mess around and sway my thought, man. That's a good.
So
argument.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of people they'll take up for Kanye and laugh at it, but I was outside. All right,
Man,
I can tell you exactly what was going on.
Jay Brookins, let me hear yours because that's a good one there, man. That's pretty good right there.
I'm gonna put it all the way out there.
Okay,
Big fan of this guy.
Yeah.
The things he's done have shifted the culture every single time.
Exactly.
I'm a big fan of that. Big fan.
I'm not taking that away from him.
I listened to his new joint, the joint with Andre 3000, 50 times a day.
Yeah.
Big fan. Every project. When he said that hurt me.
Okay.
But then, I mean, you gotta realize, like, it's soundbite material. One, he's hurt. Two, he took too many sips of the Hennessy. Three, he took a hit of the blunt. I mean, text
he had a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think he really knows how to express his hurt. You know, like all the Quali stuff. Like, bro, you know you love Quali.
Yeah.
Y'all got y'all family
got joints together.
And another, so that's another reason why I'm hurt. One, because you don't put your family business out there like that. You will never catch me out here on the internet talking about somebody you thought I was family with.
Y'all changing my opinion, man. This is great. I didn't even look at it like this.
And so, you know, Kanye is Kanye. He's always like you said, one time, out of five, whatever, he's gonna say something tight.
Yeah.
But in the other four, he's gonna say something crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just that kind of person that's almost like a stream of conscious type person that's always saying stuff. I pick up a lot of gems from the Nori interview, the Drink Chaps interview, but all the people talk about is like the
slander.
The slander. You know, things like that. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a 4-hour long interview.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we only talking about Quali. We only talking about the backpack. We only talking about, Big Sean.
Young
You know what I'm
Legend.
saying? Like, all things I think are lame as hell.
Yeah.
I'm a fan now.
Yeah.
Lame as hell that he's doing that. Like you wouldn't do your family like that.
An objective Kanye West fan. Look at the Lord. Okay.
Hey, and I'm still a fan because I feel like I understand him. You know what I mean? Like the Joe Rogan interview, he's like, man, you have a different type of way that you think. You don't think like other people. It's just it's stream of consciousness. You're everywhere, but you kind of make it make sense. And from watching the Drink Champs interview, I'm thinking like, the dude's hurt. They hurt his feelings when they said they didn't want him rocking the red cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is his way of lashing out. And what do a person that's not used to getting drunk and talking You know what I'm saying? What they going? Yeah, for 4 hours. Like you gonna say some things that's gonna be kind of whack.
You could tell. We could tell that. You can compare to Joe Rogan. You can compare the what's my boy's name?
Zane Lowe.
Seth. What's the one where he was sitting in the studio? He just randomly started crying.
Oh, I don't even know.
I saw one of the. I saw pieces of that interview. You know how stuff floats around. Mm-hmm. This was one of the interviews where I'm like, he's comfortable. Like I saw Kanye. That was the guy from like the college dropout era, leading in the late registration and so forth. Like
right.
All of those. Like when I heard that, there he is. Like it popped up, but. I don't know, man. Like what you said was very interesting. I like yours as well. I can't wait to hear what you say because I might get swayed because y'all have great arguments. Go ahead, Long.
No, I mean, I think he's just lying.
That's it. That's how you gonna start it?
I mean, no. I mean, like he's fronting.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I said this last week. I think he was doing that because he felt slighted. I said this last week, even though the comments that we've seen, they were like, "Oh, that's no." Look, he felt slighted by John Legend, by Talib Kweli, by Big Sean.
I don't even know what Big Sean said.
I don't either.
I can't.
I guarantee it was political. I guarantee it had something to do with politics.
But I don't. I can't even find that. I know the stuff that did. And the thing is, they still came from like John Legend and Kweli still tried to come from a place of love and say, "Hey, this is just we don't agree.
This is not it." But that's where, if you watched his interview, that first part with that type of critical lens, you could see it because there's no other reason for Kanye to come at Kweli.
Right.
Like from a musical, like if you don't like Kweli's music, you're not going to do this on the Noriega podcast Drink Chaps. You're going to just keep it to yourself because it doesn't matter like that.
True.
And all your actions have shown the opposite.
Exactly. All of them.
Oh, let's not forget how he's just, doesn't sit, how he went at Just Blaze. I still doesn't sit.
Just Blaze thing is,
Just Blaze is 100% cap. That's 100%.
I mean, he thinks he's God. So, and maybe it's just, I know Jay's looking at me, but I feel like he thinks that he's God. I like it on the status. Let me paint this a little better.
Pivot now. There we go. Paint it. He gonna paint it. I got faith in my man.
Let me paint this a little better. I do think that he feels like he is a God in the sense of he feels like he's way above everybody else in his thinking. And when he tries to describe things that he is sharing, but like his ideas, he legitimately thinks that these are like the craziest, greatest ideas that nobody has ever thought of before, ever. And when I listen to it, I'm like, okay, I'm not with that. So that's what I mean by that. He thinks that he's bigger than he actually is,
especially as a creative.
Not from like who people can see him as. Just like his inflated ego makes him. I don't know. It's. I don't
Does
know.
that not make him who he is? Like,
it does.
Without that, who is he? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a fair point.
He's like one of the biggest artists in the world,
which is great. Which is great. If he's focusing on the artistry, right?
And like I said before, you know what I mean? We did the quote. I said, "Hey, great men are not usually good men."
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and
a lot of times they're terrible people. Somebody said something like that.
Didn't somebody say that? We saw it on the clip.
And
somewhere?
I don't even think that he's horribly terrible. I think we have to factor in all of this, the fact that he is going through a lot right now, right?
Absolutely.
And he does like we all do. He has emotional issues that he's dealing with, you know, and so to break all that other stuff down, I don't know, man. Like, I said this last week too. Like, I don't want to focus on the negative stuff that Kanye does. But the way he presents it sometimes, it's just like you can't avoid it. And the stuff that he says is just blasphemous sometimes. And so, like, even bringing it back to the backpack stuff, he's just lying. Like, I don't care. One, we have stories, but two, like, he was a backpacker. Like, regardless of if he was like hiding it secret, like it doesn't matter. He was a backpacker.
Tribe Called Quest.
He did 2 albums with like Common. Like, what are we talking?
Like, he's always been a lot more Tribe Called Quest than he is Compton's Most Wanted.
The The reason you got things are popping up in my head.
Shout out to MCN. I'm not trying to slander Compton's Most Wanted when I say that.
Well, things are popping up in my head in the past that are aiding me and my opinion possibly being switched. Here's one of them. Kanye has consistently always said that he was raised by Tribe Called Quest. Openly. Q-Tip, you raised me, man. Fight Dog, y'all raised me. Y'all raised me. Y'all raised me. Native Tongues, y'all raised me. So I'm like,
we know what naturally stems from that.
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't add up, and it leans more towards just 100% cap and frustration now that I think about it, based off what I've been told for so long. You can't say, Tip, you raised me, Fife, you raised me, Ali Shaheed, y'all raised me, and then say I've been lying.
That's not backpack though, right? That's just good hip hop, bro.
Well, that's the thing.
But see, that's subjective. Now that's gray area. That's
No,
gray
no,
area.
I get what you're saying. But also, you know, when I think about, you know, if you listen to a lot of those like those Kanye mixtapes, a lot of stuff we were downloading off the internet before we could get a whole Kanye album.
Yeah.
Think about all the stuff he basically, let's keep it real. He bit a lot of consequences, Flo. And you know, if you love the gangsters and the dope dealers so much, why were you doing all these records with Consequence of all people? You know, when you talk about, first of all, let's just keep it real. At one point, all hip hop was underground hip hop, unless you were like Hammer or somebody like that, because there wasn't such a thing as hip hop radio stations. Like that's not something,
or crossover
That's
artists.
not even something that really existed a lot of times until the mid to late 90s. So if you heard any rap on the radio, it was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So like that whole concept of underground and commercial hip hop, there's a gray area. And a lot of times when people bring that up, they don't know what they're talking about because they say it from the aspect of what happens today. And that it's a completely different idea of what the difference is and where it was played. Like, you know, because you would see a song that might be in the top 5 on the Billboard chart, and something that's only charting on the hip hop chart when you watch Yo MTV Raps.
I got a question for Jay.
So you know, especially somebody who's coming from radio and records and seeing how these things have evolved, you know, over time. Like, I don't think people have a real like I said, backpacker is an outsider's term.
Let me ask you this, Jay Brookers. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Right. We had a conversation about Boosie and his huge fan base in the city of Indianapolis, right? Yeah. We just talked about that. Like, Fam is a legend in the South. He a legend here. Let's just keep it a buck. Boosie fans that are our age that didn't listen to Native Tongue, didn't listen to whatever that tree is you want to call it, De La Soul.
Right.
What would they call Tribe Called Quest? How would they label them?
You gotta ask one of them, bro. I don't know what they. Wait.
How do you think they would label them?
They won't label them. I don't think they'll call them backpack.
You don't think so?
No, sir. I don't think they know what a backpack rapper is.
I mean,
I don't really know what a backpack.
God bless them.
The true essence of a backpacker versus what it evolved to is two different things. Let's just get that out there. But what I'm saying is, music is lumped. I've heard people say Lupe is a backpack rapper. Paris Tokyo is not backpack.
You know what though?
Am I wrong? Like, I've heard people say that.
I feel like backpacker is a term.
It's dismissive, first of all.
It is dismissive, but it's also it's typically always used with people that are more lyrical,
that can actually rap.
I thought that was conscious rap, bro.
There's another pocket.
But it's so close though.
That's what I'm saying.
But backpacker,
as opposed to unconscious rap.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't.
No, but that's real.
I mean, we used to call it conscious rap.
For sure.
We're not about to do this, Jay Moore. Don't do that.
But when you think backpacker, when we just think backpacker, regardless of what type of term
damn near
it is,
think of Kanye, bro.
You think of Kanye because of Kanye, but if you think of anything before that, most people are probably going to say maybe Kweli, maybe Mos,
okay,
maybe regardless if they are or aren't, and then you're going to go back further from what that sound kind of stemmed from. But I think that's just what the overall, like, what people think of when they think of backpacker. I think they link in quote unquote conscious rap in with that as well.
I think that's a different era. I think backpack rap is raucous, Def Jux. That era. Is
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do too.
Yeah, but you know,
Okay.
coming from being a little bit older than y'all, like there are people who would classify Backpack as Illmatic, Black Moon's, The Shining. You know what I'm saying? They would talk about those albums as, you know, basically the stuff you would play when you was playing video games and smoking blunts. You know, it would, if there were some girls out there, you'd put on something else. You know what I'm saying? Because
but
they couldn't
them
get into
dudes
that.
was gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, Black Moon.
for real. Like we no. Now
No,
I
I
Those
see. That's
dudes
the
were
point I'm
gangsters.
trying to
That's
make.
not no backpack rapper. You know what I'm saying? We
Because you know what's in them backpacks?
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. I'm just saying. He right though.
Look,
He right though.
I'm saying we thought that was a backpack. We were the backpack. So we're in the backpack area, and I'm, you know, heavy in the backpack. I'm buying all the CDs, up to whatever. I'm just now listening to Nas. I didn't listen to Nas when it first came out. I got to it after. But when I got to it, bro, I wasn't no gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a little nerd kid, but I love hip hop. You feel me?
I think you put you definitely, when you said raucous and Def Jux, those are the definition of what I think of like the quintessential backpackers. Murs is a backpacker. Like he'll come out and say it. You know, even though he may have done his, I don't know Murs.
Shout out to Murs.
But this is
he made a tweet about it recently.
But those guys would have been proud of and wore a badge of honor about Kanye.
for sure.
To me, they would have been all about Kanye.
He was a king of back rapper.
That's what I'm saying.
He brought a specific sound. I don't even know how you define it exactly.
Bro, it's Kanye.
This is why it's so disappointing to me.
Okay.
Because at one point, I was like, somebody is out here bringing balance to the force. All right.
Yeah.
Kanye was getting dilated peoples.
Yes.
In the regular rotation.
Turn it up.
On, you know, in Slum Village in a regular rotation on commercial radio. And we didn't realize, we thought he was going to bring balance to the force. We didn't realize eventually he's going to become Darth Vader.
I mean, you live long enough, you're going to find yourself becoming the enemy.
That's what Jay said.
You know what I'm saying? But check this out, though. Like, for me, it's a different connection.
Okay.
He was the first kind of rapper I saw where his trajectory was mimicking my own. Dropping out of college. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Having your dad and your mom in the, you know what I'm saying? Like,
very relatable.
I was like, yo.
Yeah.
And before that, you know, I'm listening to Wu-Tang. I'm listening to dudes that look at me and probably like, man, get your dirty ass out of here. You feel me? Like, this dude looked like me. He sounded like me. He was into some of the same things that I was into.
He had on, he was wearing polo. I was like, all right, they're polos. Yeah. I
was like, yo, this dude is where it's at.
Jerseys, like I was right there with him. And so, like, this is the wild thing about
Kanye. Like Kanye was Neo. He was the one.
Yeah.
When he came out, he was Neo.
Yeah.
To me,
but you can't keep that up for.
No, you can't.
And get to get to the point where you have $9 billion, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But somewhere along the way, he had to ditch that and be like, yo.
Well, he did in 2021.
Well,
no, can I? The chat is popping. Can I? We got time to go through some of these comments, or do you want to?
Yeah, if you want to cut the conversation short.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that y'all?
I want to hear what they got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna try to be brief because I don't want to break the flow, but they are going off in the chat. I'm gonna try to pick a couple.
Drake was the biggest backpack poser. If
you see that one?
While you're getting that together, you got to understand, like, for a certain amount of time, it seemed like if you wanted to be involved in hip hop, you almost had, just like you got to take prerequisites in college to take certain classes. It's almost like your prerequisite had to be some sort of crime. Okay. And like everybody had their stories like, I was on the block, this, that, and the third, but I could rhyme. And here comes Kanye West is like, wait a minute, his mom is a college professor. You know, he's somebody, like, honestly, he represented more of a realistic version of what was happening in Black America than these people who had their prerequisite into entertainment crime. Then, and you know, and so like you saw him almost as it's weird considering who he is now, almost as a hip hop everyman. Because if you were a kid that grew up and went to school, and just like most Black people in America are not cool. I know that sounds crazy. No,
that's a clip.
No,
that's definitely
for real.
Be
because most Black people, they get up, they go to school, they send their children to school. They go to church. They go to church on Sunday.
I follow that.
You know, they're not on the block. They're not like, you know, just doing, you know, the real rah like that you would think. Like I said, hold on a second, fam. I gotta get these comments just so this makes sense. Just like I said a few weeks ago, like a lot of what we listen to on the radio and see on TV is is a fantasy. It doesn't represent actually what the reality of how black people live in America.
Absolutely.
You know, Kanye West was a lot closer as somebody, you know, who tried college, had parents that he knew and loved, and talked about, you know, think about the song Last Call, and was talking about like the things that were much more relatable than for me listening. As much as I love Jay-Z, him talking about like being on the block and I had to move these packs and I went through that so you didn't have to go through that. I don't really, you know, talking about flipping birds, I really don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
You know, so Kanye West was really more of an everyman at that time. I mean, much more than he is now because he got $9 billion.
All right, man, we got my man Poppy. We got my man Poppy Amon. Poppy Amon says this dude was a backpacker. He's full of it. Streets dudes helped him, but his foundation was Souls of Mischief, Black Moon, etc. as a listener. Okay,
cool.
The homie David said, "Ye moved on quite a bit, moved to quite a bit of ways before he got bigger." I think that was in relation to you talking about his popping or lack thereof. DJ Harvey did said, Kanye, there's anything to diss someone he feels disrespected by.
Yep.
Fair assessment? I think so.
That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, Nate Gigi said pretty much.
Human nature.
Smooth
insecurity.
Smooth
Absolutely.
Smooth Hooger said, Kanye is just capping. I don't believe anything he says. I just want the music. So
who said that?
Smooth Hooger.
Shout out.
I can dig that.
Yeah, he want to get right to the music.
That's where I would like to be with Kanye too, to be honest, because it's so hard to like. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay.
I'm still a fan of his music. Let's
want to throw something else.
Everything else he said, I'm still a fan, especially as like his first 5 albums.
I mean, not lately, but
not lately.
I told y'all when I
you gotta listen to Andre 3000 joint. It's
the new one?
Oh no, we listened.
We with that. Yeah, I'm with that.
I'll listen to the new one.
Yeah.
Can I get an album of that? Okay, but go ahead.
No,
yeah,
sure.
You'll never get that again.
All right.
David said, Ye is a pretty sensitive guy. Lyrics and Love Note says definitely more personal. Yep. Let me find another one.
Ye thinks he's bigger than Jesus. See, I got somebody.
Okay, wait. Pause it.
Yes, sir.
Can I please jump in here?
Sure.
Please. I feel like if I leave this out, like I feel like I'm, doing everybody a disservice. What do y'all think about the faith stuff?
The what?
I feel like it's real.
Like him finding faith,
No. See, the thing is, I know a lot of...
you going to open a can of worms.
Let's go.
This is where I'm going to show some real love to Kanye West.
I think it's real.
Because I do think that it's real. And you got to understand that even though he was cursing and smoking blunts and talking about all these girls, you got to understand, God is not done with Kanye yet.
For sure.
Okay?
I said God ain't finished.
Yeah. And so, like, you can't expect him... Like if you ever saw the documentary about No Malice, you can't expect him to be in the same place as No Malice.
Agreed.
Because their walks are so completely different. I don't dispute at all that Kanye West is basking in the light of the true and living.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to take that away from him. I do not want to say, oh, he ain't no real Christian. Who am I to say anything considering how I live?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in no place where I could sit in judgment of him. But also he has to think about with his platform what it looks like to people who've been going to a Sunday service and bought his gospel album.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about what that looks like to them. And he has to be he has a responsibility to people, because there are people who are going to be like, well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and do this anyway because like I can still live like the world even though I say that I follow God.
So
I think he's trying.
He's doing the best he can because he's got so much going on.
I'll keep it a buck.
Okay.
I thought I can admit this too. I thought that the faith initiative or push, if you will, I thought that was bull out the gate. I ain't gonna hold you. But I had to pull back and say some of the things that you said, and then also think about his history with Jesus Walks and all that. And I was like, okay, there may be some validity to it, and it could be genuine. Like I pulled back from that because I was all the way on the left on that.
Yeah.
So I'm with that. I'm not mad at that. But what bothers me is not being able to separate that from the fact that sometimes the music just isn't good. That doesn't mean I'm hating that he's on his Christian path. It doesn't mean any of that. Like some people will join the two together and it's like, oh, you just hating because he's making Christ. No, it's just not good to me.
I mean, but that's a valid argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that I was like, yo, what? why is he doing this? You know what I'm saying? Until I actually heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I identify as a Christian. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk to me about Christian rap, my first idea in my head is like, it's trash.
No,
it's horrible.
No, because remember I said I didn't even give Lecrae a chance.
Lecrae got heat.
But I'm thinking about DC
Don't do that
talk.
long.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, if you're gonna do something like Kanye, bro, if you're gonna do something, don't do that for views or clicks. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I was afraid of.
That's not something to play with.
That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid it was going to be something, just like he threw away the Louis Vuitton backpack and then, he's talking about bleached. This, that, and the third. Like, I didn't want those things to be, I didn't want his faith to be something that was just a trend that he picked up and then put down. And I don't think that's who he is right now. Okay, I do think he is genuine, and I like I said, God is not done with him yet, just like he's not done with
Jay
you
Moore
or
got love for
anybody
Kanye.
else.
Come on now,
And
give it up.
That's part. That's,
deep down in the soul.
That's why I'm so. That's why I may seem like I'm so hard on him, because I got love for him, and I see. I know. I feel like if he really wanted to, because I can hear the good he's trying to do in the world, but then when he flips out and starts saying certain things, that's. Once again, we're not talking about what he wants to do as far as building community and building schools. We wind up talking about Big Sean and Just Blaze and John Legend and how he tap danced for Donald Trump.
One more and you out of here, brother.
No, and
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You got one more.
It's all right. We got 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is a good conversation, but we got to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Chat,
so
stick around for the post show. We're going to talk about it.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure you join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads. You can also catch playback of all of our shows on any podcast app and youtube.com/newoldheads network. And go to newoldheads.com/community to join our Discord.